We're good.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody to the Veterans Advisory Board meeting for April here in the Bronx. We're super excited to be here as always. And we have a relatively abbreviated agenda here for a variety of reasons. Just to give everyone some background about what's going on. Actually, let me start with introductions around. So I'm Todd Haskins, Chairman of the Veteran Advisory Board and representing Manhattan. Charles, you want to go next?
Charles Hernandez, I represent the Bronx. Retired Army, retired, I guess, yeah, that's about it.
Jules Martin, Manhattan.
Pat Pavon, Bronx.
Thank you, gentlemen. And so just to give everyone some background, we just had our executive session. For context, we're right in the middle of the budget process. It's a fairly long, almost 6-month process that has back and forth between the administration and the city council, and we're working really hard, and that's why we're starting a little bit later with the public session here, but really working hard with the commissioner and her staff to try and get the right resources to help the Department of Veteran Services, which is just about a year old, help continue to grow and be in a position to provide services to veterans throughout the city of New York, and there have been a whole host of updates and hopefully more to come over time. So let me, from a process perspective, let me introduce Oswaldo. Where are you? There you are.
I'm right here.
I'm Department of Services. And so he's going to give an update, and you should probably come down this way so they can get you on camera here.
I can move
To
in.
this side.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to give an update on a bunch of the activities that have been going on in DVS and some of the near-term priorities. And then really, that's our only particular agenda item, is really just to give feedback and then to receive feedback from the community. So we'll shift to that portion of the meeting thereafter.
Okay. Well, before I begin with the update of DVS, does everybody know what that stands for? You received a bunch of flyers. No questions about what DVS is?
I have. I don't know.
Okay, so DVS, the New York City Department of Veteran Services. We're a new independent agency, and as Todd said, we're about to wrap up on our first year. We stem from what used to be the old Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. So if you're familiar with what a mayor's office is versus the agency, mayor's office tends to be a lot smaller, a lot concentrated. The whole time that MOVA existed, which is the acronym for Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs, it usually ranged from a staff of anywhere from 2 to 5 people. Right now we're at a staff of 32 and we're aiming for 36. So yeah. I myself have been here for 6 months. Some of you may know me from my prior role as a Veterans Liaison for the New York City Public Advocate, where I used to do the citywide Veterans Outreach that way. I also want to introduce our latest employee, stand up right here, our in-house fashion designer and consultant, this is Pedro Zapata. Can you tell me a little bit about your role at DVS?
Yeah, so my name is Pedro Zapata, and I'm the Senior Project Manager working with Oswaldo in the Office for CE5, which is Community Employment Engagement, Events, Entrepreneurship, and Education. And at the present time, I'm still learning the ropes, getting used to what we do and working with constituents and finding out ways in which we could either automate or make our processes more efficient and optimized so that we can better reach our target audience.
Perfect. And what Pedro didn't tell you is he's actually the son of a veteran. Your father served in the U.S. Army. Where was it, Panama?
Yes, he did Panama and he also did Germany, North Korea, yes.
How did your father feel about when you met the job at DVS?
He was excited. The first question he asked is, can you help me with some of my
And that's basically that. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that right there is why our agency was created, because we all know the VA, we all know the state level Department of Veteran Services. We're all somewhat familiar with the services they provide, but we will build and create to fill in those gaps right there. The gaps that you find in the navigation and the understanding of those benefits, because they can get very difficult, not only to understand, but also to access. It's like they're out there somewhere in this crazy, metaphoric cloud, and how do I get there? How do I reach the skies? How do I gain those benefits and use them to my advantage? And any questions you have around benefits, employment, education, events going on in the city, you come to us. You call our number, you come to these VAB meetings, and you learn about everything that's going on within your local community. The second part of this update I want to talk about, you might not have received one of the flyers for Theater of War. You guys, you see those flyers going around, right? Are you familiar with what Theater of War is?
This one here?
Oh, yeah.
Right there. The next one is actually coming to the Bronx. Theater of War is, it goes closely to our commissioner's mission of reaching public health forums in the community where it's not completely centered around clinical health. This is more of a cultural art experience where the community comes together and they share almost in an affliction when the performers who are reading off ancient Greek tragedies are reading off stories of, one in particular I attended was the story of Ajax, a warrior who was denied certain honors and merits because of political reasons. And we all who have been in the service, we've seen examples of that happening, not only in our some small communities, but in our nation at large, particularly when veterans fall through the cracks and they don't get the benefits that they're earned. So in there, right there, we have a shared communal experience where the community comes together and they speak about, there's an open forum opportunity there where they speak about and they give their reactions to the stories told. So take the flyer, look at it, do some research if you must, but please attend the next one in Bronx. Coming here to your hometown, there should be no excuses. I'm looking at you, and you, okay? Want all of you guys there. That's basically the end of my update. You guys have any questions for me before we move back to the board? Sure.
I just want to add one thing onto it. There's a lot of famous actors who go to this thing,
Right.
and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very moving experience, and there's a discussion between the audience and the actors and panel members. They'll have caregivers, active duty military, retired military, care workers in the veterans services. It's a really interesting performance, and it's free and it's cultural. So we should go.
And if you guys, I don't know the names of the actors myself for Santa, but if you're a fan of Law and Order, SVU, some of those actors are on their front center stage performing shows for you. Okay? Anything
Paul
else?
Giamatti.
Did you go to Johnny Williams Help Us Wait on Friday?
The last one you evening, no, I didn't get the chance
Well,
to.
I wanted to see big.
But we did have Donnell though, wasn't Donnell there?
Yeah,
The
Donnell was
Donnell-
there.
Yeah, you represented our agency there.
Yeah, I remember your program, okay.
Cool. All right, awesome. All right, thank you, Todd. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Let me also just introduce and recognize, obviously, the people who are physically here. We're in the Lincoln Medical Center, and Mr. James Carr is here. They've been a great host and a great partner to us, and really great support for veterans, et cetera. If you would like to say some words, you're welcome to.
Thank you all for attending. I'm hopeful that our facility is offering you whatever you need in regards to medical care. If you're within the immediate community, please feel free to reach out and take advantage of the services that we have to offer here within the facility. But my mission here is to again listen to what you have to say as veterans, because I'm also retired. I'm a Marine, 30 years.
All right,
Hoorah.
thank you. All right, thank you.
Welcome home. So whatever I can do to extend myself to you as fellow veterans, please let me know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Largest medical system here in the city of New York, and really, for those of you who are physically here, you know it's very community-oriented, and it's more for the folks watching at home, very community-oriented, very welcoming, and have always been great hosts and partners, so we very much appreciate it. So that, for those of you who don't know, and I appreciate the description of what DVS is, the Veterans Advisory Board is a group of 11 members from all boroughs, all services, et cetera, who've been come together, and we provide advice to the mayor and the commissioner and the city council on policy matters for veterans throughout the city of New York. So we don't really provide direct services, but we help provide advice and help set things up. One of the things that we do in that context, in addition to trying to give information where we can, is also a mechanism to receive feedback and receive thoughts and ideas and questions, particularly those that are related to a policy matter. And so we do that through this public forum, which our tradition is one of the local representatives will host. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Devine here, and a number of folks have signed up to speak, and so he'll call the names, and you guys can ask questions, you can make statements, whatever you prefer to do. We ask in the interest of sort of time and respect for others, limit it to 3 minutes. But we look forward to hearing feedback and continuing the dialogue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if this works, but this one. As I said, when I first came to the meeting earlier today, someone asked me, gee, when did you get appointed to this committee. And I said, Mayor Koch. Okay, so we go back quite a few years. And the growth of this committee is unbelievable. I mean, in the beginning, again, it was just one person from each borough. And again, we got together as we do now, but there is nothing compared to what's happening now. I mean, the growth of what is happening for us, the veteran, through this agency. Again, we watched it go over from the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs to a department. And that was a big, big undertaking that was accomplished. And again, we're babies, you know, we just started as a department, and our first year in, and the growth. And I just want to give on a personal experience. I'm involved with the homeless through the Department of the American Legion for the whole state. So I got 62 counties. I mean, I get phone calls all the time, and I try to help, you know, direct them. And when it comes down into the lower hub, which is us, I send them, but if I cannot help, I send them to the Department of Veteran Services. And I have never received a phone call back, because I always said, keep me in the loop. You know, if we can't go this way, we'll go that way. And I have never received it back. So that's how good this agency is actually working. So I just want to compliment the advisory board and the department itself. Okay, with that said, I guess the first one is Weeder. Is that, okay, there you go. Thank you.
Come up.
Yeah, speak.
Yeah, you said you were asking what you want.
You want a phone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. There you go.
My name's Daniel. I'm a U.S. veteran with the United States Navy. I served from 1978 to 1982. I just got off the street as a homeless veteran, and I'm in the veteran program with the Volunteers of America. And I want to tell you what a great, great job the city of New York is doing for helping homeless vets. There's no excuse why they're on the street other than we like it out there. It's kind of like camping outside in the city, if you will. The resources are immense as far as feeding and everything else, but it got to the point where my feet were actually hurting from walking so much. So I said it's time to get off the street. I've been to 2 domiciliary programs since 9/11. I'm a volunteer responder with FEMA Homeland Security, with U.S. Citizen Corps. I've done volunteer assist in 8 U.S. cities, and I've been to 45 states. And finally came home. I'm really proud of you guys. I can't tell you how much you're doing. Sometimes you may not think you're making a difference, but it's the one person that you reach your hand out to help that makes the difference to help millions of others. And that's pretty much where it's at. What I'd like to see in program development in the future is potentially a one-stop shopping, so to speak, like he's discussing. You guys are on it already. So probably everything I'm saying you guys are working on. But from a veteran standpoint, it's kind of hard when you're in a shelter program or a domiciliary program and you've got to navigate the city to go to Manhattan to get your letter of service, and you got to get Metro cards to go here. Sometimes I got to walk 40 blocks. I'm tired. You know, I guess I'm 55. I'm getting a little old now. But I'm really, really grateful. I'm very much an advocate. I was a personal trainer in LA. I trained with Red Cross out there and the fire department in Miami Beach. But it's mind, body, spirit. That's really what it's about. I have to be good for me before I can help anybody else. So the more programs you put together for health and wellness, the better. Just remember something. You can show them where the water is. You can't make them drink it. You know, these things have to come from within. We want recognition for what we did for our country. Some of us don't. You know, personally, I did enough back then. I'm trying to let that part of my life go. I'm proud to be a veteran and advocate for homeless veterans, but I want a better life now. So, like I said, there's the educational aspect of this too. The more opportunities you give us to go back to school, that we can get a degree and wind up with a nice suit like this guy. You know, this one, he's got a banging one too with the shoes. You know, makes you feel better, you know what I mean? So basically, if you could put together different places in the different boroughs where you could actually get everything kind of done at once would be a big, big help. Because you do have to go to a lot of different loops to go to the DASH program, you have to go to this one for your disability. But other than that, you guys are doing a bang-up job. God bless you and thank you so much. And anything that I can do on my behalf to help, And on behalf of the Volunteers of America at the Safe Haven program in the Bronx, we want to say thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Again, that's success. And again, we work the system, and it's very challenging when someone comes to you in a situation and they would say, I'm homeless, and again, it's a touching factor. But under the Hagvash, as you know, you have to be 1 year on the street. And again, I take people through the system, and what a challenge. And again, your success. So again, what I would say to you, thank you, because you're going to help people as you were helped. And that's what it's all about. We're a family. And that's the beautiful part about this. And I thank you for your success. Okay, the next one, Chaplain?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Frances Chapman. I'm with the City of New York and the Public Engagement Unit, in particular the Tenant Support Unit. And first of all, I'm the daughter of a submariner in the Navy, so thank you all so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
So I am working with the Rent Freeze program with the Tenant Support Unit. Essentially, we are using SCREE and DREE, the programs that allow senior citizens and those with disabilities to freeze their rent. Obviously, this program allows your rent to stay frozen at its current rate, and it would save folks so much money in the long run. The earlier they apply, the better. And so, we have specialists with the Tenant Support Unit that walk folks through this program. We're there with them step by step to make sure that the case is resolved all the way. So if this is something that you're interested in, if this is something that you can spread to your networks as well, that would definitely be appreciated. It's an underutilized program in the city, and the Public Engagement Unit is really here. It's an initiative for the mayor to make sure that government's being more proactive. So we have a table out front. We have a lot of information about this as well as any handouts. So if you could stop by, if you can sign up even, we would love to talk with you. So thank you. Yes?
There's a misconception that you have to be of a certain age and not the category, i.e. veteran, to apply for SCREE. Can you speak to that? Clarify whether or not that is the case?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So with SCREE and DREE, they have a couple of different qualifications. For SCREE, the senior citizens, you do have to be 62 years or older to apply. DREE, you can be 18 years or older as long as you're receiving any federal disability benefits. And in terms of the qualifications that spread across both, you have to be making less than $50,000 a year, and that includes your entire household. You have to be on the rent. Your unit needs to be rent stabilized or rent controlled, and then that you have to be able to show who you are and to provide all proof of income. So it's actually a pretty straightforward process. We've been able to get applications sent off within 2 weeks. So we want to make sure that we're just getting folks in as soon as possible. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, are you connected with the DVS and the whole housing infrastructure there, so that when people are relevant, when veterans who come in through the DVS system are relevant for your services and may not know the acronyms or know what they call, are you guys coordinated there?
Yeah, so we're actually working on doing that. The Rent Freeze program is actually one of the newest programs with the Tenant Support Unit, and Tenant Support Unit itself is about a year old. So we're still working on forming those partnerships, which is why we're coming to events like this. And that's something that we're working on growing. Great. All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Make sure you step outside and get some of the literature. Again, what we do today is helping people. And so you pass that information out into the street. So it's very important. The next one I think is Carl. I guess that's James?
Well, I already spoke.
No? I was forgetting that. The next one is Agile. I can't make you spell it.
Probably me.
Who's next? Okay, there you go. Excuse me.
Not a problem. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Amjad Mujahid. I'm a Bronx.
Take this.
Oh,
Thank you.
My name is Amjad Mujahid. I'm the Bronx Neighborhood Health Promoter with the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. I work out of the office of the Bronx Neighborhood Health Action Center, which is formerly known as the Bronx District Health Office, and that's located on 1826 Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. And the reason why I'm here today is to share information about our open house and talk about some of the new services that we have coming to fellow Bronxites. Now, there is currently a campaign going on called #Not62. Are you familiar with it, anybody? Okay. Briefly, #Not62 is a program that talks about, out of 62 counties in the state of New York, the Bronx ranks 62 with the worst health disparities in the state of New York. So that's a big issue. And one of the things the city's trying to do is to address the health issues in the Bronx, particularly in the South Bronx, to improve the quality of life of all Bronxites. And throughout the city of New York, the city has established neighborhood health action centers to talk about and to address health and wellness issues within the communities that's most affected. So for the Bronx, I have our open house coming up next week, April 26th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. We encourage you all to come, family, friends, neighbors, everybody. And just to let you know, I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, 2nd Marine Division, and it's a pleasure being here with you all. And I look forward to developing new relationships to help fellow veterans and their families to get access to quality health care and services that we definitely know we need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, no, so in fact, I was just reflecting on Valentine's Day, February 14th, and I just realized I was 50 years in Vietnam at that time. I mean, so that's the day I landed, and I said, so again, it was, I had a flashback on that one, you know. I was puffing on a Havana cigar in Da Nang, and incoming, and then I realized I was in Vietnam. So again, welcome. Okay, we just have another speaker, Matt Butler, and he's from Fordham University. He's the Director of Military and Veteran Services. Yes, sir.
All right.
Good evening, I'm Matt Butler. I'm a retired Marine, so I think we can officially say the Marines have landed. So I am newly in the job as the Director of Military Services at Fordham University. Fordham has 400 student veterans, and we have taken up one of the recommendations of the advisory board to make New York City the best place for veterans to go back to school. So we're pretty passionate about that at Fordham. On May 27th, we're hosting a college fair at Lincoln Center, where we have invited all of the colleges and universities in the 5 boroughs to come and participate. It's Fleet Week. It's also an official Fleet Week event. So we'll have sailors and Marines bus over from Pier 96 or 86 and from Staten Island. And we're inviting the veteran community and their families. New York City has about 12,000 student veterans, so there's opportunities for those veterans to learn about graduate school once they complete their undergraduate. At the same time, it's always a focus of the in-state for veterans, and the transition in higher education is a great way to make that transition from wherever the veteran is to employment. So that's really important to us, and we're happy to kind of take a lead in helping the community come together and tackle this issue collectively, because veterans issues aren't defined by our brick and mortar. It's something that we all share. So we're happy to kind of lead the way. One of the things that is challenging for student veterans coming to New York is the housing piece. All veterans have to figure that out, and sometimes it's very challenging because of the GI Bill benefits that has opened the door to veterans to go back to school. It still isn't accepted as a valid piece of income. So however we can tackle that, we're trying to do that internally with establishing relationships with realtors and landlords and such, but it's still a struggle, and we can certainly open the doors more if we have that leveled for the veterans as they transition from all points around the world here to New York City. So we want to invite everyone again to May 27th, 10 to 4:30. We'll have a classroom schedule, how to use your GI Bill benefits, how to get connected with some of the services that New York has to offer, 4 Block, Edge for Vets, and other things to support veterans in higher education. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? You said you go to the Veterans Advisory, is that the borough presidents?
I'm sorry.
Well, again, the borough president has a Veterans Advisory Board,
Yeah.
and quite a few colleges, Mercy College, and quite a few colleges go there because they have veterans in their institution. Have you ever contacted the borough presidents?
I haven't, no. We have been working with DBS on this.
Okay.
I've also worked with the new mentorship program that's in the works, which seems like some great work. A lot of people are coming together. I've reached out directly to the colleges and universities.
Okay.
But I certainly...
Well, again, what happens is here, the borough president has a Veterans Advisory Board, and there must be 3 colleges on there, right there. So what they do there is, this way your contact is informed.
Yes.
It's just something to tell you.
Yeah.
I would plug in, so you're part of the family in the borough as far as the Veterans Advisory and that type of thing, so.
Great.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Good, thank you. Okay, the thing is, no other speaker, but I just wanted to give you an update, Mr. Chairman, is that all right?
Please do, yeah.
Okay. We have quite a few events, again, we have in the upcoming, in May 15th, the borough president's having his annual Veterans celebration at Maestro's. It's a breakfast, and that's at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a great event. Got to be at least 200 to 300 people that do attend. So by all means, what I would advise you to do is call the borough president's office and get your name on the list, because it's a sign-up type of thing.
We have the number right here if they want.
Okay, so there is a number, we have that right up front.
Yeah, 718-590-3914.
Okay, so again, it's a great event from the borough president, and again, he's so pro-vet. I mean, his father's a vet, the Vietnam guy, so I mean, so got no choice. So, but again, that's one thing I wanted to say, and a great thing that is happening in the borough of the Bronx is the Fisher House. I don't know if anybody ever heard of the Fisher House or the Fisher Foundation. They selected the Bronx VA Hospital as the next Fisher House. So what they're doing, they're building 2 16-unit pieces at the Bronx VA Hospital. Now, I don't know if everybody's familiar with what the house does. You understand what it is. Basically, what they do.
It's going to hold the families there while the veteran is getting hospitalized services, so on and so forth. So the veteran's family has a nice, safe place to stay.
And it's free.
And it's free, wow.
I mean, everybody heard of McDonald's house.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so this is one for the vets. And again, they selected the borough of the Bronx to have its next building. We jumped ahead of 17 other places that the Fisher Foundation was going to put. And there was an article in the Bronx Times Reporter about a month ago pertaining to this. And they spoke to Mr. Fisher, and he says, well, let me get something straight right from the beginning. I'm a Bronx boy. He was born in Riverdale. And the next thing is going to be, we're going to build this thing in the borough of the Bronx. And they took the Bronx VA Hospital as the place where they're going to build it. They can only build it at a military base or a VA hospital. Once they build it, they turn it over to the VA system. But then there's a whole other machine that goes behind that. but I just wanted to let you know. Yes, sir.
Is a veteran-owned construction company?
So, that's all I have, sir, and after that, it's really goes. Okay, thank you.
What was that date again?
May 25th.
Excuse me?
May
The
25th.
date?
The day is May 25th. It's on a Thursday at 1 o'clock at the VA, Bronx VA. And it's going to be packed. So, just let you know. Yes. Any questions? Okay, good. You got it.
Great, I think there's nothing more to be said, so we appreciate everyone coming and participating, and appreciate your feedback, and thank you for sharing, sir, and look forward to continuing making lives for veterans better here in the city of New York.
Someone needs to have this meeting. Can we get a picture together? No? Yes?
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
Then we should, because the more we advertise it, the more people come to
Sure.
us. I think we should
If
definitely.
you guys want to be pictured, get behind the board right now. Let's make it happen. Let's go. You ready, Justin?
Pictures?
Yeah.